Yeah. So
I'm not the best example.
No, he's not.
You know.
Hang on with it.
All of us have our own struggles, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, so as a Muslims, okay.
Do you believe in God?
I'm open to the idea, but not necessarily.
No,
not 100%.
yeah. So that's why in the Quran utilize intellectual proofs for Allah's existence. Okay. So for example, Allah said in the Quran, "Am khuliqu min ghayri shay'in am hum al-khaliqun." The meaning of the verse: would they create by nothing, or did they create themselves? So the question that Allah is not asking question is a rebuke basically, in a question way, meaning that is it possible for non-existent to create something? It's impossible because a non-existent does not exist, let alone to create something. It's like, for example, Shamsi does not exist. My name is Shamsi, I don't exist. Can I give you £10 if I do not exist?
You can, yeah.
I can't, I don't exist.
But, okay.
You understand? I do not exist. Remember, let me repeat myself. Okay. I do not exist. I'm a non-existent, yeah?
Right.
Can I give you £10 if I do not exist?
No,
because I don't exist. So I have to be in existence. So the question is that either this universe was created by nothing or was created by a creator. That's the only option. And let me make it clear to you. For example, if I say to you, look, this phone, iPhone, you know, has program, you know, menu, structure and everything. If I say this phone was made by a rock, because remember, you and I and him, all of us here, we haven't seen the person who made the phone. Okay, it's from the unseen. What is the unseen? You haven't seen, yeah. But by looking at the iPhone, we can analyze and see, okay, is this phone was made by a rock? It's impossible. A rock make a phone, iPhone like this? It's impossible. Okay. The second option, this phone was made by a child that is 2 years old. That's impossible. Like how? 2 years old.
Oh no, but it's probably made like by a factory somewhere, isn't it?
Yeah, but not 2 years old. Child 2 years old.
Like
yeah, no, somewhat. No, remember, this is very complicated iPhone, you know. Look, it has a Face ID. It's a program. It's so by looking at the iPhone, you can come to know this iPhone must be made by someone who has PhD how to make a phone. Yeah, and it shows you this person must be smart who made the phone. Likewise, has a knowledge. He has a power, ability. Okay, which was more complicated, the phone or you and I? We are more complicated. Just our eyes. You know, the camera mimics our eyes. And our eyes more complicated. What about us? If a normal iPhone must have a creator, cannot be created by non-existent or by a rock, what about this tremendous, beautiful creation? Look at the sky. Look, today is Sunday. What is tomorrow, Monday? How do we know? By the sun rising, sun setting. There's all the program. You know, we have a nose next to our mouth. Before we eat, smell food. You have eyebrows above your eyes. Why? Because the sweat contains salt. If it keeps going to your eyes, it will damage it. So there's eyebrows to protect it from the sweat. You understand? Your head is here on the top, not on the bottom. Because when you walk, you stand, you can look up and down. So you can see we've been programmed, we've been organized, yeah? Therefore, we must have a creator. It's a logical, rational way, you know?
Okay. No, yeah, probably. It most probably, yeah, but if we do, like, where are they? Why do we not see them?
No, we have one creator, not creators.
You think it's just one?
Yeah, it's one creator because.
Okay, so you think it's a man, presumably?
No, man, no.
Okay.
Because
what do you think? What do you think the creator is? Like, what kind of?
Allah described Himself to us. Allah mentioned in the Quran. He's the only one. He's unique, and there is no one like Him. He's self-sufficient. You know, the creator is not the creation. You understand? It's like basically you see a chair. Who made the chair? Not the chair itself. The carpenter. And the carpenter doesn't look like a chair. You understand? Yeah. So that's just a simple analogy between two created things, a human being and a chair. So the creator is not like us. The creator describes himself with the attribute of mighty, power, mercy, love, anger, what do you call it, the attribute of forgiveness and so on. But also you mentioned there is nothing like unto him. There is nothing like unto the creator. But if this is the case, you know, it's something which is well established. Prophet Muhammad told us every newborn is born with a belief of the Creator. And there's a study was done in Oxford University. It took 3 years. They spent 1.9 million on the project. They took children from different parts of the world. They come to the conclusion, if you leave the children without any outside influence, they will grow up in believing in God.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, so where they get that belief from? that Prophet Muhammad told us. God created us with that. That's why when you look to our sound reasoning and natural inclination, it goes in line with the Islamic revelation. Worship one God. And there's no way, because we can see there's order in the creation. If there was many creators, you see disorder. Because every creator wants to do according to his way. If there's too many kings in this country, every king wants to control his parts. So what happens? We see disorder. Either one king is going to overpower the other king. The fact there is one, as one of our scholars mentioned, Ibn Taymiyyah, Ibn Kathir, and Allah mentioned in the Quran, there is only one creator because you can see the order. You know?
Okay.
And something which is well rooted, there is only one God. And this is the case, so therefore, every part of your body has a purpose.
Yeah.
Everything has a purpose.
Do you think that just comes from like evolution though? Like?
Evolution is not an explanation of the origin of the creation. Evolution is about species. It's about species.
But do you think we do?
No, I don't believe evolution.
Right.
Evolution is not scientifically proven.
Okay.
It's not. Because firstly, evolution is, before we talk about evolution, firstly, if there is a creator, we can see that the almighty creator is rational, that he can create this beautiful creation. There's not a need for us to come from apes and monkeys or to have a common ancestor and so on. You see, we believe God created the first man is Adam, then created from Adam, Eve, and there was many children. Simple way. But evolution again, because what is scientific method? Is a collection of data based upon observation through experimentation, then you come to a conclusion. So you have that we cannot have any observable example of seeing one species evolve into completely different species. It's a belief. They say a billion years happened. That's a belief. We can't prove that. They say, yeah, fossils. Fossils is not a proof. Fossils is explanation of so-called proof. Because, for example, if we are digging deeper in the ground, and I find, okay, one part of the dog, but I don't know it's a dog or not. And I found one part of a rabbit. I can create something and think, you know what, this animal existed. And I can say animal such and such existed. But I made up the animal. Even, you know, the way dinosaur has been structured. Dinosaur doesn't look like that. They made it up.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, they tell you that. They tell you that. You know, many people don't know that. Many people think the way dinosaur is, that's how it existed. No, that's how they put it.
They just put it together.
Yeah, just put it together. Yeah. Right. You
but
see?
Don't you think like they really like?
Why would they try and make us think that?
That's, you know, there's a lot, you know, there's two types of science. There's hardcore science, which I accept, making a phone, making a washing machine, cars, and there is a science which is based upon assumption.
Okay, so, right, so do you think we're on a planet in space right now? Do you believe that?
Yeah, of course, we're in space,
so
clearly.
Where's God then? Alan, where is he?
You don't have to see God to believe there's a creation. I mean, where is the person who made the phone? Can you see him?
No.
So you don't have to see the person who made the phone to know the phone was created, you know?
I don't think that's a fair relation though. I think, yes, someone's making a phone, but if someone created the universe.
Yeah, it's created. Look, for example, when God created this creation, He created us with something to recognize Him. You understand? We don't have to see God, and also to see God is a blessing. That's why we believe as a Muslim, when you die, you see God in paradise. So that's a blessing, and if everyone see God was the point of the test. You understand?
So you think life's a test then?
It's a test, no doubt about that.
Okay.
And even if people see God, some people will not believe. I'll tell you, there's a physicist called Peter Atkinson. Atkinson, yeah. He's an English physicist, yeah. He was asked, he said, Peter, imagine you walk in the late night or night time and you see the stars line up. Peter, believe in me. I'm God. Would you accept? He said, no, I think I'm going crazy. Yeah, so some people, Allah mentioned in the Quran, some people, they will never believe, even if the angels will come to them, even if Allah bring the dead people back and they say, listen, there is a hereafter, they will not believe because of arrogance. So they will look for any excuse to reject God. For example, to show you another proof that people are arrogant, do you know Richard Dawkins?
Yeah.
Yeah, Richard Dawkins was asked, imagine when you die, like you meet God. And remember, which God? The God that He said is going to punish you if you reject Him. You're going to meet Him. What would you say to Him? Arrogantly, what He said, I would say to Him, where you been hiding? But hold a minute, if you're going to meet a God that is all powerful, you'll be scared. Because imagine I said to you, look, outside there's someone with a gun and he will shoot anyone. And you say, no. I said to you, okay, if there's someone with a gun and will shoot everyone and you're going to meet him, what are you going to do? You're going to tell him, why you're here? You're going to run away. You're going to be scared. But it shows you that Richard Dawkins is so arrogant. Look what he said. He's proving what Allah mentioned in the Quran. that some people are too arrogant. He said, even if I'm with God, which God? The Almighty, the Powerful, he's gonna challenge him now. That shows you it's not about there's no proof for God's existence. It's about Stephen Fry said that. That shows you what Allah mentioned in the Quran. Some people, what they do, they will try to look for any excuse for rejecting God. Because by believing,
why do you think people want to reject God?
Because by believing God, you have to leave certain things that you love.
Yeah, like what?
For example, some people maybe they love to drink alcohol.
Yeah.
Some people maybe they love to have fornication. Some people maybe they love to do this and that. So by believing God, what's going to happen? They're going to try to go and guess that. Okay? Or some people they hate to do something. For example, waking up early in the morning, pray to God. They hate it. So they don't want to say that openly. They're going to start looking for an excuse to reject God. The guy that I was speaking to earlier on, that guy Anthony, he will look for any excuse.
Yeah.
The fact I'm asking him simple question, are you certain that you're speaking to me right now? He's not certain. He said maybe it's dream. So yes, so they play with words. Yeah. So therefore, he will not, nothing will convince him for God's existence. Because whatever you're gonna bring to him, he's gonna say to you, look, epistemologically, maybe what I'm seeing is wrong. You see, but deep down he knows that it's false. But he's not gonna say that openly because why? People think, okay, so you're arrogant. So what he's going to do to comfort himself, he's gonna start looking for any quote unquote intellectual way of an argument to make himself feel good, even though deep down he knows the argument that he tried to utilize against me to reject the Creator is invalid. But he wants to sound smart. So what I'm saying to you, it is one, no, look, we're going to die. I mean, look, have you been Morocco? Because he's Moroccan. Yeah. Okay. Have you been, Algeria? No. Algeria is next to Morocco. Okay. I'm from Algeria. Yeah. So next to Morocco. You've never been there. Have you been Algeria? No. Never been. If you're gonna go, you're gonna go to Algeria. Right. The first thing what you're gonna do, you're gonna investigate which currency they use. Because they use dirham, we use dinar. Yeah. Is it a safe country? Maybe there is a war. Okay. Is it a cold country? You're not gonna say, you know what? I don't know nothing about Algeria, but I'm just gonna get there. When you get there, there's a war and you get killed. The smart person step back. Let me do my homework. Likewise, one day we're going to die. We're gonna live this life. How many people left the house, they never come back? How many people won't sleep, they never wake up? That's why Prophet Muhammad told us, visit the graveyard. Why the graveyard? There were people like us here. Yesterday they were here, today inside the graves. Yeah. What will happen? What is going to happen to us? Why we have to die? Why, these questions cannot be answered by the scientists. These questions in the Quran. Before Jesus came with it, Moses, now the last prophet is Muhammad, came with those answers. What is our purpose? That to worship the Creator. This life is a test. If you follow God's teaching, the outcome of that is paradise. If you turn away from God, don't blame no one except yourself, and the outcome of the hellfire. Because God is the most just. Based upon His mercy, He created paradise. Based upon His anger, He created the hellfire. But He gave you the free will for you to choose. Because paradise is a place of honor. Hellfire is a place of humiliation. So that place of honor, people that deserve it, they have to work for it, hard for it. So that's why God put us in this life, for you to choose. That's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, believe or don't believe. You're not gonna, the meaning of the verse, you're not gonna harm no one except yourself. Like, 30 years ago, you don't exist. Now you're in existence. You can speak and all of that. And this universe, we must have a creator. There's a purpose. What is the purpose? Logically, the one who knows all about our purpose is the Creator Himself. That's why He sent the prophets and messengers. When He sent prophets and messengers, He sent them with miracles, prophecies, to show us there are prophets and messengers. Like Prophet Muhammad prophesied about the future. He said there will come a time when you see the barefoot Arab man competing in building tall building. When the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ mentioned that 1,400 years ago, the Arab Peninsula, the Bedouin Arab, they were not known to build tall buildings. Let me ask you, where is the tallest building? Dubai. Dubai 50 years ago was a pure desert. Let alone 1,400 years ago, the time of Prophet Muhammad. So how Prophet Muhammad ﷺ knew that? Because he said it, he's a messenger of the Creator. And the Creator knows about His creation. Also, he mentioned there will come a time when interest will become widespread. Even if you are not involved directly, will affect you. Now, by default, if you open a bank account, you are involved in interest. Your money is being used. Again, how men that existed 1,400 years ago, knowing about something that we can observe right now? Again, he said it clearly, that knowledge came from the Creator who knows the future in details. So also look, Islam comes to preserve 5 things. Islam comes to preserve religion. What does that mean? Meaning that Islam, worshipping God alone, is very important. When the people turn away from God, they start following their desires. And the outcome of following our desires, we can observe it right now. A lot of depressions, people committing suicide, people are confused if they are a man or woman, children are confused, everything is going crazy. Like literally there's a woman in America, she thinks she's a rabbit. Yeah, she said she believes she was born in the wrong body. Yeah, because if you open, imagine I said to you, look, I feel I'm armless, even though you can see I have an arm, yeah? Right. I'm armless, but I feel like that. I feel like I don't have an arm, please. Can you help me to cut it off? Would you help me? No. So what about a man, he feels a woman, and we go help him to cut off everything? Doesn't make any sense, man. But what's happening there is agenda is being pushed. And that's the outcome of turning away from God. When you turn away from God, you be confused, you don't know what you're doing. Secondly, Islam came to preserve intellect. That's why alcohol, drugs forbidden. Thirdly, Islam came to preserve wealth. That's why interest and gambling is forbidden. Fourthly, Islam came to preserve families, relationship, families, That's why fornication, adultery is forbidden. Fifthly, Islam came to preserve life. That's why committing suicide, killing innocent people is forbidden. These 5 things that Islam come to protect. On the other side, in our country here or back home and everywhere, most places, not just allow, they propagate alcohol. They propagate what do you call it, gambling, interest, and these things destroy our societies. Yes, there is some people are benefiting from it, who are those in power, but a majority of times destroy people. So how man that existed 1,400 years ago came with this perfect way of life? Because it came from the Creator. What do you think what I said so far? Make sense? Yeah? If I said to you, look, imagine you wake up, may Allah forbid, today or tomorrow, you wake up in the morning and in your own room, there's a fire everywhere. Everywhere there's a fire. You try your best to save yourself, but you couldn't save yourself. I came and I saved your life. What would you say to me at least? Would you remember me all the time? Yeah. Of course, I saved your life. Okay. Why don't you remember and thank who gave your life for free? You see? I never gave you life, but the one who gave us a life, that's what Allah mentioned in the Quran. Try to count Allah's blessings, you will never be able to do so. A man came to our scholars, he said, I'm poor. He said, I will give you 200,000, give me your arms. He said, no. 500,000, give me your eyes. He said, no. Give me this. He said, no. He said, you see, you're rich, but you don't know it. Yeah. You see, health is better than wealth. Yeah. If you have wealth and you are paralyzed, what are you going to do with it? Health is not. Wallahi, you have a little money, but you can walk. You're not a burden upon people. It's better than. Prophet Muhammad said, whoever wakes up healthy and he has a place to stay and he has food for his day, he's like a king. So we have to be grateful to the Creator for giving us everything. The second question, if you want to buy a gift for your mother, would you buy a gift that you love or your mother love? Yeah. Your mom love. Yeah. Likewise, if you want to worship the Creator, worship Him the way He loves, not the way we love. That's why He sent Jesus, before that Moses, now the last prophet is Muhammad. That's why what is a shahad? When someone becomes Muslim, what is it? I bear witness there is no one worthy of worship except Allah, and Muhammad the messenger of Allah. I mean, I should be grateful, I should worship Allah, my Creator, according to the teaching of His prophets. There's something in our chest, nothing can fulfill it except when you worship your Creator, your own existence by His virtue. Do you have any question?
Yeah.
The differences between religions, like Christianity, the difference of religions.
Oh yeah, like the difference of religions like Christianity, Judaism,
Like why would you, for example, believe in Islam and not believe in Christianity?
That's good. Yeah. So firstly, we believe in Jesus. Okay, we believe in Moses. We believe all of them came with the same teaching. However, it was corrupted. But why Islam is special? Because when you look to the Creator, the way He did it, the Creator created us with the tools. Our tools like sound reasoning. Like it's impossible for non-existent to create something. It's impossible. It's known by necessity. Okay, you don't have to study to learn that. Okay, this is called something fitri, which is by natural inclination. So this is something we're born with it. Creator given to us. Likewise, sound reasoning and our observation. Islam goes in line with that. So basically, it's like you have a padlock, and everyone claims he has a key for that padlock. But the only key, you use your key, is not opening. I say I have it and open it. Therefore, who is right? Me. Clearly. So you have our natural inclination, our sound reasoning, it goes in line with Islamic legislation. Christianity, God become a baby. That's a paradox. Because God's uncreated. If you become baby, baby is created. Doesn't make any sense. God is all powerful. How is he going to become weak? Understand? It's irrational. Judaism is a tribal God. It's only for Jewish people. But when we look to Islamic teaching, there's only one God who is perfect. He's not in need of no one. Everyone's in need of him. Person might say, why we have to worship God? Not because in need of worship, because we are in need of his worship, of worshiping him. The worship that we do for God for our own benefit. You understand? Not because it's going to benefit God. So the point here is Islam is so special because it goes in line with our sound reasoning. That's why majority, that's why Islam, the fastest growing religion on the face of the earth. Why? Because people know Islam goes in line. Worship one God. Okay, follow Prophet Muhammad. Okay, praying. You know, Islam is a practical religion. Christianity believe God died for you or Jesus died for you. Okay. No. Islam is not just for you or for me. Islam also for the government. Because Islam is the religion of God. And God wants us to live according to his teaching. Because logically speaking, no one knows about his creation better than the creator himself. You understand? So that's why Islam is the truth. Because Islam, it goes in line with our sound reasoning, with our natural inclination. Christianity, yes, I believe in Jesus, but it was corrupted. Doesn't make any sense. There's three gods, but one God become, one God died, or he was weak. Doesn't make any sense. Because if we establish God is all powerful, what does that mean? No one can overpower him. Correct? If it's all powerful. The Christians, they say Jesus is all powerful God, but guess what? The Romans overpowered him. Doesn't make any sense. You understand? So alhamdulillah, you know. So Islam, look sister, there is a huge war against Islam. In Australia, every day there is a negative article about Islam. But yet the fastest growing religion on the face of the earth is Islam. Guess what? Allah mentioned that in the Quran 1,400 years ago. That is a prophecy that we can observe. How many that exist 1,400 years ago, prophesizing about something that we can see right now. So I will say to you, if it makes sense to you, why don't you become Muslim? Worship your Creator. You don't know when you're going to die. You know? Wallahi, when you look to Islamic teaching, look, like the 5 pillars of Islam. Firstly, to become Muslim, you testify there's no one worthy of worship except Allah, Muhammad the Messenger of Allah. Then second, what is a prayer? What is a prayer? It's good for you. Or stand, Allahu Akbar, reciting the Quran, the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know, bowing down, humbleness to your Creator. That's why we don't bow down to no one, except to the Creator of everything. Charity. Many people complain about poverty. Islam has a solution. Charity. You know, likewise, fasting. You know, many people say poor people, but to feel for the poor people when you fast. And it's not just for the poor people. Fasting is good for us. So the Islamic teaching and way of life is so perfect and precise. It's impossible to come from a man that existed 1,400 years ago, lived in the middle of nowhere, except that man is a messenger of the Most High. You see? So I invite you to become Muslim.
Okay.
Yeah. You want to become Muslim? Well, if it makes sense.
Maybe. I'll have to, you know, think about it.
Yeah, I'm saying if it makes sense to you. Akhi, where's my bag? Akhi, can you get my bag? I think I left it. Can someone? Yeah, get my bag. You know the sensibilities. Yeah. Because I have book. Well, I would say if it makes sense to you, is it clear to you? Then step by step, because my wife, she's a revert. My wife became Muslim when she was 14. Yeah. She was a Catholic, Christian, and she became Muslim, alhamdulillah. My brother here is a revert. He became Muslim when he was 17, alhamdulillah. So what I would say to you, if it makes sense to you and it's clear, say, you know what, I want to worship God alone, it makes sense, then become Muslim, alhamdulillah. Then step by step you start learning. Because when you become Muslim, I get big reward. That's why I want you to become Muslim. Don't give me no money, nothing, but I get big reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is better than everything. You know, so remember when I said to you, if I saved your life, you did not say to me, you know, give me time to thank you. You thank me straight away. Yeah. So why don't want to thank God straight away?
It's quite conflicting, you know.
How? Yeah. What do you mean by that? Go on.
Yeah, it's like mentally conflicting for someone who wasn't born into this kind of mindset, you know.
I know it's a big step. It's a big step.
Well, it confronts everything that I believe in. Believe in something. that conflicts to everything that I've ever known. Yeah.
And no, that's why they said there's two reasons people not accept Islam, generally speaking. Either it's a psychological reason or social reason. Psychological reason, you mentioned one of them, is basically you start thinking, so all my life I've been believing something which is not true. I know it's like you're facing reality, but the point here is that God's not going to blame you for that. But now God will blame you and will hold you accountable for knowing the truth and turning away from it because your forefathers or your parents raised you up for something else. You understand? Yeah.
I think that probably the biggest issue is like when someone like born into a religion.
This for you, yeah?
Yeah. A religion or something, and then all of a sudden they convert to something. It's like a big stick for them because probably their family won't accept.
I know, that's what I'm gonna say. That's why it's social reason.
Yeah.
Why do you think
Emotional.
Islam is so negatively received? Why do the people don't like? I see a lot of hate towards Islamic people.
Because Islam it goes against the agenda of the evil people. Like I mentioned to you, Islam says no alcohol. But people, they make money off alcohol, even though they know they're going to destroy people. Okay, no gambling. Those people in power, they're making money off gambling. So they're going to look at Islam, you're going to make me bankrupt. That's why there's two types of people that hate Islam. Either they're ignorant of Islam, or those who are in power, who are making money from the suffering of the people. Like tell me please, because I've been asking this question, yeah, maybe you can answer it, or he can help us. Alcohol is allowed in this country, correct? Drugs is not allowed. Both of them cause the same harm. Rather, alcohol causes more harm. And based upon Home Office website, majority of crimes is because of alcohol. So can you explain to me rationally why in our country here, or around the world, why alcohol is allowed and drugs is not allowed even though they cause the same harm?
I honestly don't know.
Do you know why?
There's a lot of reasons, obviously, like alcohol's taxed and stuff.
That's it, it's high tax. They're making money from it. And the elite, they like alcohol. But even though we know it's bad for us, alcohol is very bad. You see, so Islam comes in not because Allah hates you when He said don't drink, because Allah wants good for you. Allah wants to take care of your body. But there's evil people who doesn't care about you or me. They just want to make money. So what they do, they utilize their money from alcohol they are making, from gambling they are making, from interest they're making, from this prostitution they're making. They utilize that money to make Islam look bad through the media. And those who have a lack of knowledge about Islam, they just blind follow them. Even though I just broke down for you, Islam is good for us individually and collectively. That's why people hate Islam. For example, they say Islam oppress women. You know what it means? I'll tell you what it means. It means Islam doesn't allow us to misuse women. Because Islam comes in, woman has a right. She has a right to be educated, okay? She has a right to be protected. You know, in our country, you will never see women carrying stuff. No, that's disrespect. Like if everyone's sitting down and there's a woman carrying stuff, everyone has to fight to carry stuff. Even if we don't know her. She's our neighbor, it can't be happening. That shows you women in our country is well respected. But in the media here, they make it seem like we have a special case for our women. And they say, come, go inside, close her. You know, come outside. It's like, that's how to make it seem. But wallah, you see, you never see women, likewise on a train or train or bus, well, you never see women standing. Even if she's 15. Girls, young girls. If we're sitting down, it was like, get up man, let us sit.
Treat like queens, innit?
Wallahi, akhi, you know when I came here, I was surprised, akhi. I thought, what? Back home, no, we love our women, we respect them, we take care of them. So, because Islam comes in and says woman is more valuable than diamond. If you have a diamond, sister, would you go around start showing everyone a diamand? You're not going to do that. People are going to steal it from you. So our woman is more, we protect her more than a diamond, you know. So what we say, the reason there is all of this war against Islam, because the only religion is not backing down, and is the religion that go against the evil people's agenda. But again, they're not going to tell you Islam go against our agenda. What are they going to say to you? No, Islam against freedom. What do you mean freedom? The true freedom, when you become a servant of your Creator. And the worst type of freedom, when you become slave of your desire. You follow anything your desire says. I feel, even though I'm a clear man, but because I feel like I'm a rabbit, so I'm going to become like a rabbit. That's what you do, you just follow your desires. Tomorrow maybe I'll change my mind. I feel like I'm a chicken, so I'm going to become a chicken. That's the reality. That's what's happening now. It's funny, but it's sad, akhi. It's very sad situation, you know. I mean, I've been in this country for a long time. I love good for this country because they took care of me. Like, you know, I have children. They took care of my children. I love good for them too. But the way Britain, not just Britain, around the world, what's happening now, what we lead into is going to destroy us. And there's no solution except by going back to our Creator. Make sense?
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah. So we don't oppress women, we love women. We take care of our women. That's why Prophet Muhammad told us, your mother has more rights over you than your father. You know? Like if you see, if you go, yes, I'm not going to deny some ignorant Muslims, I don't know where they got this culture from. They think you mistreat women. No, Prophet Muhammad said the best of you, those who are good to their wives. You know, likewise the sisters. You know, the woman in our religion, every time she's growing up, she's getting more respect. But in the Western world, every time she's growing up, she's getting more disrespect. Wallahi. So we don't like. You don't tell to your daughter, get out, get on your own life. No, you provide for her. You know, even if you're working, you know, if you get married to him, maybe inshallah, maybe in the future, hopefully you're going to get married or something. Anyway, imagine something happened like that, okay? If you're married to a Muslim man, and you're a Muslim, even if you're not a Muslim, as a Christian or something loud, as a Muslim, if you're working, you don't have to spend money on him. And he cannot force you to give him money. But he has to spend money on you. Yes.
I love that idea.
Yeah. So you see woman, your money is for you. His money, the husband's money, is for him and for his wife. You see, alhamdulillah, how we look after our wife, you know. And what's happening is, well, sister, to show you, look, the contradiction in our country or around the world. What's happening now? Woman doesn't mind to be controlled by her boss at work, to control her what time she should use the bathroom. Because when you go to work, you can't be going bathroom anytime. You're working. You're going to sign up what? Contract. There's a time for break. So you don't mind to be controlled by a man as the manager, but they have a problem for the husband to be in charge of the house. Even though the woman in a house is like queen, she has the freedom. A man cannot tell her, no, you go bathroom this time, that time. No. Look at the contradiction, sister. Look. You know, you have to understand that why there's a huge war against Islam, because Islam gives a man's right, the perfect right, and it gives a woman her perfect right. But some people, to make it clear to you, to show you terminologies as slogans is very dangerous. Yeah? Okay. We believe in Adam. Yeah? Iblis, Satan, when he came to Adam, he never said to Adam, do not eat from the tree which God forbade you. What he said to him, he said to Adam, the verse, yeah? هل أدلك على شجرة الخلد وملك لا يبلى. Shall I show you a tree of eternity? What Satan did to Adam, he changed the name of the tree. Because if the Satan told Adam, eat from the tree which God forbade you from, he's going to say, no, God forbade it. I'm not going to eat from it. But what he said, he knows the psychological of human beings. He said, shall I not show you the tree that if you eat from it, you will have eternity and a dominion that is everlasting. Now what's happening now? They use the different terminologies, but the meaning behind it is completely the opposite. They say woman's rights. Woman wants her right. But when you investigate what is a woman's right, is a man to use her to sell his products. That's what it means. Or they say freedom of speech. Everyone likes freedom of speech, you know. But what is freedom of speech? To insult you? That's not freedom of speech. Freedom of speech to start insulting everyone, and that's not freedom of speech, that's craziness. You see? So my point here is we have to be careful from these shiny slogans and terminologies. Because there's evil people out there, they study human psychology, how they think. So to misguide us, they're not going to tell us, for example, if someone tells you come to drink alcohol, he's not going to tell you come to harm yourself. Alcohol harm us, correct? It harms us, correct? Alcohol. He's not going to, none of your friends are going to say to you, if you want to drink alcohol, come we harm ourselves. Come kill ourselves. So he's going to say, let's have some fun. Fun, you know? Fun. No one hates fun. I want to have fun. Look how terminology, see? Likewise, look at drugs. None of the friends going to say, hello, yes, brother, let's kill ourselves. What is going to say? Let's chill, man. Chill. I want to chill as well. But we're going to smoke drugs. So humans know. Some people study human psychology, how terminologies can affect them. You with me, yeah? That's why they hate Islam. And how they're doing it? They are utilizing shining terminologies which can deceive humans. But when you have Islam, you have a criteria. You don't get deceived by none of that. Because why? The Creator knows you from inside and outside, and He knows everything. And He has told us. That's why they're waging a war against us, because the Muslims are not backing down. Makes sense, yeah? Do you have another questions?
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah, I'll pray for you. Well, I tell you, look, I would love for you to become Muslim right now, but again, if you want to think about it, read. But what I would say to you when you go home, pray to God. Say, oh God, guide me. Because this matter is not a matter just speaking about, this is a serious matter. It's a matter that you're going to die and stand before your Creator. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Quran, said, أَفَحَسِبْتُمْ أَنَّمَا خَلَقْنَاكُمْ عَبَثًا وَأَنَّكُمْ إِلَيْنَا لَا تُرْجَعُونَ فَتَعَالَى اللَّهُ الْمَلِكُ الْحَقِّ. The meaning of the verse, do you think we have created you without any purpose? Far away Allah from this imperfection. That's imperfection to attribute to the Most High, the Most Wise Allah, to create us without any purpose. Doesn't make any sense, you know. So there is a purpose. We have to study, we have to learn. Don't wait for people to answer, to the scientists. The answer, you have a message from your Creator, which is the Quran and the prophetic teaching, you know. And remember, you're not ready for death. I'm not ready for death. Death is ready for us. That's why Allah challenged people with the death. Look, the Queen had the best doctors. She had the best doctors, correct?
Yeah.
When the death comes to her, did they help her? They didn't help her. That's what Allah said. وَجَاءَتْ سَكْرَةُ الْمَوْتِ بِالْحَقِّ ذَلِكَ مَا كُنْتَ مِنْهُ تَحِيدٌ وَنُفِخَ فِي الصُّورِ ذَلِكَ يَوْمُ الْوَعِيدِ. Allah mentioned the intoxication of death, meaning that when you're about to die, came with the truth. That is exactly what we try to avoid. All of us here, we hate death, generally speaking. Like naturally we hate death, we don't want to die, you know. But it's a fact. And Allah challenged everyone. And Allah breaks the backs of the tyrant with the death. The kings, where is these kings and queens and those tyrants? Where is Pharaoh? Where is Namrud, the other tyrant? Where is Hitler? Where is gone? You know? Go back to the Creator. That's why justice has to be established. Hitler, Stalin did not get what they deserve to get. But the Creator will bring it back. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, do you think, yes, yeah, what are you saying? Yeah, Allah mentioned in the Quran, don't think that Allah is unaware what the oppressed are doing. Allah is delaying for them a appointed day when they will be threatened and scared. You know, go to the grave, that grave, you're going to be there anytime. You know, that's why Prophet Muhammad told us, prepare yourself for that day. You know, may Allah, we ask Allah to guide you, open your heart to Islam. You want to become Muslim? I would love for to become now, but up to you. I don't want to make you feel pressured, you know. It's choices. If you want to study more, if you want to study more, you can study. But I'll just tell you something, don't give it too much. If it makes sense and it's clear, follow the truth. I know what you're saying, that you've been brought up with some information, now you are facing something which go against what you've been raised with. But when the truth is clear, it's clear.
Change your life for the better.
Yeah, no doubt, changing life for better. No doubt you're going to be connected to your Creator, to your Lord. Now you have a guideline, you know. We don't want to be like, just like animals fulfilling our desires. Even animals worship Allah according to their natures, you know. Lie, don't be attended by this life. You see, you know how crazy. When you die, none of these things come with you. That's why you came this life by yourself, and you will live it by yourself, and you'll be buried by yourself, and you will stand before God by yourself. So prepare yourself. Prepare yourself for that day. All of us, you know. It was nice talking to you. You want another question?
I got a question, yeah.
Yeah.
Talking about graves, yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think of cremation, for example, like here in the UK? You do like a lot of cremation.
No, it's haram. Islamically, it's
I
haram.
know it's haram, but like
Yeah.
what I'm saying, like some people use the reasoning as there wouldn't be like enough land to bury like all the people who died.
Alternative.
So what do you think?
That's not true. There is enough land, man. I don't believe none of that.
It's business.
It's a business. It's a
I think
business.
It's a business because you know,
Yeah.
like, for example, I mean, like the people who are in power who can provide like more money, they can get a grave, but like people who don't have money,
Yeah,
they get cremation.
You know, back home, grave is free. Even here, you have to pay for grave. That's happening.
But, like,
You have to pay everything for here, you know.
Yeah. But if you talk about it logically, yeah, do you think like, I mean, probably about 2,000 people die in the UK a day. So like, if we bury them like all in a certain...
Bro, Britain's big, man. It's enough. I'm telling you, don't let them deceive you. That's not true whatsoever. There's enough land to bury people.
God is like, expand the earth. So
Yeah.
don't worry about it. The universe is expanding. The earth is expanding, you know what I mean?
I don't know about I've expanded, brother. What we say, there is enough, for even if it's not expanding, there is enough, brother. Go travel to Birmingham and you see how many lands, big lands, brother.
There is land, like, but like, let's say, from 500 years from now,
No,
there will be any land left?
Akhi, there will be, wallahi, akhi, there will be.
How do you feel
And you
about
can, those people who died, maybe they khalas turn to dust. You can put another grave on top of that.
Right.
Yeah.
So like,
Don't believe them, akhi. I don't believe in all that. This climate change, there's certain things about it is true, but even some stuff I don't believe, akhi. You know, I don't believe everything they say. So there is enough land to build, to bury people, and don't worry about the future. Allah create us, and the one who controls the climate change, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This business, akhi. Don't believe everything they say, you know.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
It does make sense, you know, people wouldn't pay a lot of money, but they choose to, for example, like cremate their parents. I mean, I know it's haram. Right?
Yeah, Islamically, no, alhamdulillah, bury me. Don't worry, akhi, there's enough. Bury me, speak is corner. Shamsi.